Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Decided to get the camera out in the yard a little bit. Needed to get outside. It's been a little bit, the weather's been a little bit different the last few days. It's been chillier at night. Man, I slept in a hoodie and socks and pajama pants last night, and it's been very windy here. In fact, I didn't even know until Buddy mentioned it today. There's a possible chance that certain parts of Costa Rica might feel this little hurricane that's popped up, but we don't get direct hits. So anytime you see stuff like that, if you see, like, we get an earthquake, shoot, we probably get hundreds of earthquakes a year. People get all, oh, is everything okay? It's all good. They're just little shakes, and we don't get direct hits on the hurricane. Might get some rain in other parts of the country. I really don't see any effect here, but anyhow, how to end the raw vegan struggle? How do you end it? Is this going to be some earth-shattering news, some new discovery? No, it's basically just common sense. You're going to struggle on this raw vegan lifestyle until you actually do this raw vegan lifestyle. You have to feel this thing to understand it. You have to feel this thing to really get it. I can tell when I'm interacting and talking with people all the time by people that are just, they've gotten it from the book, they've read about it, they've heard other people talk about it. They kind of understand what it's about, but they've never actually felt it themselves. And until you actually feel it yourself, it's not going to be near as easy to do it. Because once you feel it, and once you get over to the other side, it's like a drug. You're not going to have those cravings. You ain't going to want to come back. And that brings me to a point of mine. People are fooling themselves, you know, to a large extent. And that's one of those things, like, I don't like to fool myself. I know we all fool ourselves on certain things. We tell ourselves little lies, little rationalizations. But when you get your peepers and you look face to face with yourself in the mirror, you know, don't lie to yourself. There's just no good that comes from that. And people, the reason I say people are fooling themselves, lying to themselves, because they're just doing the same things over and over and over and over and over, and they think somehow magically this raw vegan lifestyle is going to click one day and work for them. It's not going to click. It's not going to work for you. It's never going to work for you until you get those things out of your system. You have to get these addictions out of your system. I'm honestly, sometimes I get a little bit fed up. I'm kind of tired of hearing about the cravings and about, you know, the food addiction, this and that, to a certain extent. Or I would almost say, okay, if you're really serious and you think you're one of the ones that has a serious one and you just can't give these things up, you know, maybe you need to go see a shrink. You know, there's certain therapies. There's people that go for therapies to quit smoking. You know, maybe there's some really deep-seated emotional issues that I'm way not qualified to talk about. I try to be careful when I'm talking about these type things, because you know, this little niche, this little whole raw vegan, and a lot of the people that are surrounding it, and when you come to, you know, we have a lot of sensitivity here. And as my daddy used to say to me, son, you can be like a bull in a china shop sometimes. So I don't ever want to purposely step on feelings or step on toes or hurt people's feelings, but I always want to tell the truth. It doesn't do you any good to BS yourself. It's not going to magically happen one day. You've got to get that stuff out of your system. Okay, just pretend like I've got a bag of cookies here, and you know, you hear some of the same people and you're almost ready to tell them to shut the up, like either do or don't do, but stop bitching and telling us about it all the time. Okay, I got a bag of cookies. Joe, all he ever talks about is, oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel so guilty. I ate these cookies last night. These cookies are my downfall. These cookies are my addiction. Okay, you know, if he's online, people throw him advice, do this, substitute that, blah, blah, blah. Joe's back again. Oh, the cookies. After about the 15th time of Joe talking about his cookies and his cookies addiction, I'm kind of over it. I mean, I don't want to be an asshole, but it's like I'm kind of over it. It's like, Joe, do something about the cookie addiction. Either do raw vegan, don't do raw vegan, but quit telling us about these cookies all the time. You got to get them out of your system. Every time you give in to those cravings for the bad things, the things that are holding you back, it just reintroduces that substance back into your system. Just like drugs, you know, it's a little bit more pointed for somebody a lot of times that are doing drugs, because those chemicals really, you know, really get back in your system. But it's the same thing. You're smoking. You know, the worst thing, I always tell people, and I've had some friends that have quit smoking and they're cruising, you know, and I tell them, even when they've haven't had a cigarette in 6 months, I said, now you need to be really careful, because now you tend to get cocky and you think you've got it beat. But those cravings can still sneak back in. And then a lot of people think, okay, well, I haven't smoked in 6 months. I'm going to take a little drag. I'm going to have a cigarette. Just do it. And then that nicotine gets back in their system, and it's mixed up in their system and flowing in their bloodstream, and that addiction is just like back with a vengeance, with drugs, with crack, but to an extent with food as well. And you know, I don't know what you got to do for yourself, because yes, we're all different. We all work, you know, we have different psychology that motivates us, that keeps us doing things. And we just have different psychology of why we do what we got to do. But I mean, this is a very basic video here. You just have to do it. Until you actually do it, it's never going to work for you. And if you're sitting around, and I just want to tell you right now, so you don't waste any time and you don't have any unreal expectations, if you're not doing the work and you're just sitting there thinking, like, if you hang around this thing and eat a few fruits and vegetables, all of a sudden, like, some magic's going to happen, and all of a sudden you're going to be led to eat that way naturally. It's not. It's a gradual cleansing process. I mean, I eat things sometimes and I'm thinking, okay, 3 years ago, this wouldn't have satisfied me, or it wouldn't have been like so good to me like it is now. You've got to get through those stages. And you know, I don't know, there's like sometimes I'm going through to get new ideas, and I'm watching other people's YouTube, and I'm reading certain things, and I'll Google and look at something on a subject. All the information is already out there. If you're waiting for the next informational video from anybody, or the next informational blog post from anybody, that's going to be some stunning new, real news, something new, you're going to wait a long time, because there's so much out there. I mean, there's just so many resources out there. It's just a matter of you figuring out how to make this thing work within your personality, within your circumstances, and whatever. But I'll finish off by saying, and that's why it goes back to having a plan, instead of just doing it willy-nilly and hoping that somehow the gods are going to magically make all your cravings go away, and all of a sudden you're going to wake up one morning and poof, I'm raw vegan. Plan, systematic plan. If it has to be very systematic, because hey, let's be real, I've known some of you online for 2 years, and you've been doing the same struggles. You've just kind of like been going merry-go-round, round and round. If you need to, don't be too proud to have a very systematic plan where it's like, okay, here's where I'm starting, and I'm gonna do this for X amount of time, and I'm gonna drop this, and I'm gonna drop this, and I'm gonna add this, and get yourself there. Systematic plan, food journal, so there's no doubt of where you went wrong when certain things happen, and so you can go back and pinpoint that. This is very easy to do. A high carb vegan lifestyle is very easy to do. The raw part of it, okay, I feel you there, because especially now as people, I'm seeing stuff, you know, it's already looks like y'all gonna have a brutal winter, because I've seen some really serious heavy snow up north of northern part of the states and in Canada already. So I understand you there, but it's still, I can understand you're not getting the fresh fruits and vegetables like you do in the tropics, but you can do something to avoid you eating cookies, chips, animal products, garbage. You know, that's why I don't harp on the fully raw thing. Okay, you tell me you can't do fully raw? Do a low-fat version of high carb vegan. Anyway, you're not going to do it until you actually do it. That's what it's about. It's not about talking about it. It's not about trying or not trying. It's just about you just do it. And as you do it more and more and more, it gets ingrained in you, and it becomes a habit. And that's how you end this raw vegan struggle that everybody seems to be having. Anyhow, just my 2 cents worth, as always. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you are having a beautiful week. Love you guys. Peace.